If you didn't enjoy your job and if you didn't choose something that you were passionate about, and if you were just going and clocking in at a regular 9 to 5, then it probably wasn't going to work.
We learned that at a young age to work, all of us. Like we were 13, 14, and we were in the restaurant, whether it was just, you know, bagging pints of fried rice up or whatever it was, we were helping.
Hey everybody, I'm Maria Campbell. I'm the founder of Cooks Who Care, and we go to different places on our days off with cooks who care as well. You do not have to be a cook to be involved with what we're doing, but we want to share stories about people in Philadelphia that are doing amazing things that you may not know about. We want you to know your food neighbors. We want you to know that they are people too, that there's something behind just your job. You are more than a title, you're more than a cook, and you have a life too. So we're going to dive into that with the chef here at Feast Your Eyes Catering. We are here at their commissary headquarters, Front and Palmer here in Philadelphia, and they have another location that's set up at the Macon Building in Kensington. So we'll dive into that a little bit more, but you want to know what you need to do for me is like, comment, share, and subscribe to our video channel that we have on YouTube, because we just do this because we care. And if you care too, you'll hit that button. So thank you.
My mother, who is a chef, she was
she's a chef too.
Yeah, like she basically taught me like my flavor profile, my the Asian side of me, my Vietnamese, my Thai, my Laos like cuisine. So that's why I'm like, all my stuff is like a little bit of influence in that.
But it's cool to like connect the history of where your family came from, and you're taught in that mechanism of food.
Yes, I mean it was never like for our family. My mom always cooked like a mixture of that stuff. She never did just like Vietnamese, or it was a mixture of like Vietnamese, Thai, Laos, and that's kind of like what I do now. That's not everything that I do, but if I'm doing it like me, that's my flavor profile. And so she was a chef at our family's restaurant, not our family, but my aunt and uncle's place for years, in the 80s and the 90s. And in 1996, I opened my first restaurant, and then I handed it over to mom because I was still 19 years old and couldn't make it, right?
Yeah.
So she took it over, and today it's still open.
Wow.
And it was 12 seats. We moved to a new location. It's about 250 seats, and it's since 1996. Viet Thai. It's called Viet Thai.
Cool.
Yeah. So then my dad, he started like working at a donut shop when I was a kid. He was making like $3 an hour, raising 3 of us at that time. And then he became like a motor winder. Like that's what they do. Like they run copper through motors or something like that. I don't even know what he did, but all I know is he never missed a day of work.
Wow.
Like no matter what, my parents never missed a day of work. And I guess that's kind of like rubbed off on me. I tried never to miss a day of work ever.
So that value is like instilled in you.
Yes.
What are some things that you feel as being a younger generation from your family and having an opportunity like you did? What values do you think differ?
I think that because like, you know, I watched my parents like go through like so much, and you know, we came over here and barely knew the language. You know, didn't know anything, didn't know anybody except for our sponsors, and clawed their way to put us through school, you know, put us through Catholic school. And it wasn't like easy, you know what I mean? But we learned that at a young age to work, all of us. Like we were 13, 14, and we were in the restaurant, whether it was just, you know, bagging pints of fried rice up or whatever it was, we were helping. And I think that really built my like foundation as a, you know, just give me my work ethic that I have today. And I just think it's a different like generation from what I grew up to, like how things are now. And I really respect, you know, what my mom and dad did. So I'm trying to do even better for my children.
Sometimes, I mean, I know there's lots of chefs that like their parent gets sick or they get cancer, or there's so many different scenarios, and it's hard because like the time that's dedicated to the job is just so physical. You have to be here and it's part of it. What about things that maybe you've learned after those experiences? Like, do you feel you're more present now, having a younger child now and having that attention? Like, do you feel it different than before?
It all boils down to knowing when to turn things off, and it is extremely difficult. That is one of my biggest things where, listen, I am an executive chef of Feast Your Eyes, right? And I sign up for that, and I am 100% dedicated to it. So that means that I am here 24/7. If something happens, like, I'm here. I never, turn off my phone or do any of that kind of stuff. Like, that's just me, and that will not change. Yep. Right? Mm-hmm. That won't change. So I kind of had to find, someone that was like okay with that, and but at the same time, I have to remember to balance it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a day where, listen, it's going to be family day, it's going to be family day. But I still have to answer my phone. I still have to, because I'm committed to it. Like, if I'm the executive chef and somebody has a question on a party,
what are you gonna do? Not answer?
I have to answer it. Right. I feel like I have to answer it. I have to try to do what I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's okay.
Did you guys meet at work here?
We did.
We
did meet
or
here.
somewhere else?
Yeah, we met here. We met here and got married here.
Did you really?
Yeah. Up here.
Up here?
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. Met here, got married here, work here.
Such deep memories, milestones made in one place.
Yes. I mean, Lynn, our boss, the owner, is great. I mean, she allowed us to continue doing it. That's why, there is a separation, and she works with Lynn directly, and I work with Lynn directly. So it makes it, easier for us where, she doesn't answer it to me. You know what I mean? We work together, and we both answer to the boss. So it makes it, that's how it works. Really, that's really how it works, where we're working together, and not I'm not the boss, you know what I mean? I am, but I'm not.
Right. I see what you mean. Yeah. So
but
just having that social dynamic, because that's something I feel that Scott and I have always been able to turn on or turn off in places. But some people aren't open to that idea. Yeah. We know how to respect boundaries, and we know how to be professional, in a kitchen. But we did meet in the kitchen, together. I mean,
chefs spend most of the time where? In the kitchen, right? So I believe that if it's a female and a male, most of the time that's probably where you're going to meet, Plus, I believe that in order for somebody to really understand a chef's life, has to be in this business. I don't think it's extremely difficult to have somebody outside and looking in and saying, are you really working 14 hours today? You know what I mean? Yeah, I really am. And I think that's why it should work, and maybe people should be more open to it. But at the same time, it could be not good too. You know what I mean? For some people, depending on how people are, it could be good, it could be bad. I feel comfortable with her being here. Yeah. I'm not worried about her. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a comforting. It's a comforting feeling. That's why I really like it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
My parents both worked growing up, and my mom was an art teacher, and my dad was a lawyer. He was a lobbyist on Capitol Hill. I was fortunate to have my mom actually taught art at the school that I went to from kindergarten through 8th grade. So I'm familiar with going to work with a parent. But so I went to school and she taught me art kindergarten through 8th grade. So we'd go to school with her in the morning and come home at the end of the day. And my dad also worked long hours. So we were raised in a family with both working parents, and my brother too. And so we saw how much, sort of similar to what Chris was saying, how much people had to work to make a functioning, livelihood. And I think that that's like one of the main things that made me have a strong work ethic, which is also why it works well with Chris and I, is that I was looking for that with somebody else that had a really strong work ethic, which he does. So
Yeah, I didn't want to be with anybody that didn't inspire
no.
me. I was like, if they are lazy and they don't do anything, I'm sorry.
I know. Well, it just wouldn't, if you didn't enjoy your job and if you didn't choose something that you were passionate about and if you were just going and clocking in at a regular 9 to 5, then it probably wasn't going to work. So because you wouldn't feel the same way about your job and wanting to grow with it, and I think it was really important to find somebody else that felt the same way about their job and was really invested in their career the same way.
Yeah.
So.
Like, how does that hold meaning for you when you say you're passionate? Can you define that for me a little bit more?
Yeah, I would say it took me a while to figure out. I tried on a bunch of different careers before I kind of figured my way into this one. I went to school for totally different, I went to school for philosophy and political science because I thought I was gonna maybe go to law school, and it took me a lot of working through things to figure out that this is what I wanted to do. And I think it's something that I could grow with and keep changing, and it wasn't something that was going to get stagnant that quickly. And you can keep learning. I mean, as much as you want to, you can keep learning new skills. You can go and take more classes. I could learn more about, like, I really like cakes, but I could learn about sugar. So I feel like it's something that can keep expanding as much as you want to. And I get bored super easily, so I think that this is a really good job for anyone that gets bored, is there's so many opportunities to keep learning and challenging yourself.
You know, sometimes like when the sitter care isn't there or you're on holidays, you have to be here. If something happens in your personal life, how are you able to balance it with work?
So Chris and I were just sort of joking about this recently. I was like, well, I mean, there is no calling out. I mean, I mean, am I gonna turn to him in the morning and like call out to him? There is no any of that, or calling to myself. It's just you figure out different ways. Like I said, we bring in Samuel to work. He's come in more times than I can already count, and he's not even one yet. And fortunately, I have my parents who are willing to drive up from Washington, D.C. to babysit him when we're in a pinch, but you kind of just make things work. You have to figure out that now, you know, all of your sick days go towards taking care of your child, and you know, other things that you might have thought that you would not need to go into work for, now you do, just because you need to kind of like, your priorities have changed. So we've been fortunate here that we can bring Samuel in, and then, like I said, I had to adjust my schedule and you know, switch it to coordinate with what is available at daycare. So you just have to kind of like move things around, ask for help with other people at work if you can't make it in on a weekend. Just, you know, get other people to help you out where you can, and everybody's been really, you know, really great with that here.
Being a mom, I always wonder this question, like, how many minutes would you say that you get to yourself a day?
Realistically, 30. I would say 30 to 60. Well, it depends. After you put him to sleep, then technically you have that time to yourself, but you always are listening. And I mean, you never really shut that off. I'm sure that you know. It's like you're always listening. You're always listening for him crying or anything like that. So maybe somewhere between 30 and 60. Yeah, you're toying between, it's like a guilt thing, but it's also like, well, you know, but I want to do all these, I want to work so I can like do all these things with you later, so that because I have all these big plans, and the only way that that's going to be possible is if I work. So yes, it is a huge balancing struggle, and I think it will just continue. Yeah.
Do you think there was a point, you know, like with your parents that you ever did that, like where there was a switch of respect and understanding?
Oh, definitely. I don't remember what age, but there was definitely some point when it was probably maybe like middle school or later, which makes me sad to think that I'll have to wait that long until he understands, but where you start to understand that they are going to work not because they don't want to spend that time with you, it's so that they can actually spend more time with you doing things, and you start to appreciate all of the responsibilities that they have. But yeah, I mean, I think Samuel definitely has a ways to go before he gets there, but I think that he will seeing both of us work, he will understand what we're doing it and that we're doing it, you know, for all of us. And I think that he will hopefully want to do the same thing when he's older also. So that's the goal. Let's see. Until then, yes, passing them around at work, and then whoever has free hands.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's a beautiful ending to our conversation here.